Hello, today is the 8th of September 2025. Okay, I feel like this video is just very much needed because I definitely want to help myself and kind of get myself back on track, because the past few days I've just been going off track, going back into old thought patterns, making myself feel scared, beating myself up, focusing on the negatives, finding it hard to stop brooding, finding it hard to just relax and to not give so much attention to my thoughts. So overall, I'm doing fine. Overall, I usually am very good at managing my thinking now and managing my emotions, or getting out of blips faster, or preventing potential blips even. And going over to Spain, I'm in Spain right now, and the days leading up to it, I kind of had 3-4 thoughts that were a bit unsure and a bit sad or scary or whatever, but I managed them, and I knew when I'm in Spain, even if I have blips and stuff, I'm gonna make it out like I always do, and I can just focus on having a nice time and taking a holiday. So I kind of went with the attitude of knowing I will be fine even if I do experience blips as well. And that was really good. And me and my sister Leona are here, my youngest sister, and we're staying for another 4.5 weeks. So it's quite a long time, but I know it's also manageable and I can enjoy it. But there's this one thought in relation to that of here I have less safety things that I can reach for to comfort me. When I'm at home in Ireland, I have more safety nets basically. I have my proper bedroom with all of my things. Here I have a lot of my things, but it's not fully my bedroom, even though it is, but it just doesn't feel like it's my original bedroom. And that's something that when I came here, I immediately redecorated and rearranged my bedroom here to make it feel more homey and cozy, and now it really does. Now I feel much more that it's my bedroom. But still, there's that in Ireland, and then there's my family, and there's my life that I've known for such a long time, and there's my dog Kayla especially, who I always feel comforted around. Whenever something's up with me, I just go to her and I immediately feel a comfort, and cuddling with her every day, playing with her, I really do miss that here, and this physical love and touch, and I just don't have that here at all. And in Ireland I have that a lot with her, because I basically spend the entire day with her, or she's always around me somehow as well. So there's just a couple things that I've noticed here. I don't, when I'm feeling down, the only thing I kind of feel like I can reach for is the TV, watching something comforting, or calling my family, but it's still not the same because we're not actually together. It's for those 5-10 minutes that we call, it's lovely, but then I hang up the phone and they're gone again, It's and it's all not that big of a deal, but I've just noticed that's why I might be finding it a bit more challenging here, because I've less safety nets, and also things here in Spain are much more my responsibility. I'm taking care of the household, going shopping, paying for things, driving everywhere, making sure we have everything we need. And in Ireland, it's 90% of the things I'm doing here, my parents are doing in Ireland when we're there together. So it's more responsibility here, and it's not that I mind it, because I like having responsibility. I like taking care of things. I like being the one to take care of things, but it's still that little added element, that little added thing that I don't have in Ireland but I have here. So basically though, traveling here with Alana, my sister, and the first like 2-3 days were really lovely. Like I really was in Ireland already, decided I'm gonna take these couple of weeks more as a holiday than as, you know, a working stay, because usually when I'm in Spain or in Ireland, I still work on my computer every day. But now I was like, I actually didn't have a proper like holiday this year yet. And so I was like, I'm gonna take that for myself now, and just, you know, at least 2 of the 5 weeks that we're here, I want to just not work at all and just fully enjoy it. But mainly throughout the 5 weeks, I want to focus more on having a holiday. So that mindset really helped me already to not feel pressurized and be like, look, I want to take care of myself. I want to just give myself a holiday as well, and allow myself to see that like I put so much effort into my work, and just because I'm not earning money with it yet doesn't mean I'm lazy or not doing enough, or that I should be doing more. And just because I'm not working 8 hours a day doesn't mean that I'm not working at all and that it's not good enough, and so on. Like, yeah, I want to kind of change my view on that, and I've been trying to compare myself less to other people. But being like, look, I'm building my own life and my own work, and because I'm building my own, I can decide how long I want to work, how much I want to work, when I want to work. You know, it's all in my hands. And yeah. So when we arrived here in Spain as well, I was like very proud of myself for having managed the whole travel day, and also driving back. It was my responsibility again to collect the car from the airport, drive us home, which is like an hour away. And in the car, me and Alana just blasted music because we were both tired, and obviously we didn't want to fall asleep because that would have been dangerous. So we like blasted music in the car and sang along to it, and that was one of my favorite moments so far of this holiday. And we've been here for a week. But like I really, really loved it, and I looked out on the stars and the lights, and I just felt so whole in that moment. I was so proud and so looking forward to this holiday. I was like, you know, I want to make this really good, and I was just so like happy, and I was like, you know, these moments don't happen that often where like me and Alana are on holidays in Spain for 5 weeks, you know. So I was like, this is a really special time, and something that I'm in the future gonna look back on, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, how cool. And so that's how I kind of want to feel here. And the first couple of days I didn't put pressure on myself. I wasn't like, it needs to be perfect and I need to enjoy it and I need to remember that this is an amazing time. I didn't put pressure on myself. But then like the third full day or something, that's when I like started putting that pressure on myself and that expectation of like, you know, if I don't enjoy something fully, then maybe I'll regret it, or I should enjoy it fully because it's special, or, you know, things like that. I started putting pressure on myself because that day we had decided to go to the beach, and that's like one of my favorite things to do here is to get out of the house, be by the water. I love the water anyway, so being by the beach, you know, being in a bathing suit or a bikini and swimming in the water, lying there, like I love that so much. And I love being able to grow in social confidence and self-esteem because like in the past I would have never worn a bikini or like a bathing suit without immediately putting a towel over myself. A bikini was out of the question anyway, but you know, always hiding and always being feeling uncomfortable and so on. And like, you know, going to the beach alone, which is also about an hour away, driving and like being there, finding parking, all of that, like I would have been so anxious in the past and I would have avoided doing it. And, you know, growing in social confidence as well by like going to a nice bar there and just getting an alcohol-free mojito, and like I don't know, doing these things or being on the beach knowing people can walk past, people can see me, and just being confident. You know, I love that. So anyway, I had this, I think, this expectation or this wish that like, I want to enjoy this is really special and I love it, and I was looking forward to the beach until that morning a what if thought came into my mind, and I was like, what if I don't enjoy it, and what if I'm so focused on my thoughts and I can't stop thinking about them and I can't stop focusing on them and my day is ruined. So I immediately like catastrophized. As soon as the what if thought came in, I immediately catastrophized. I was immediately like, oh no, what if my day gets ruined? What if I can't enjoy it at all? What if I can't stop thinking now about this? Like, what if I can't do this and that? Or what if I don't enjoy it? Then I started brooding about that. Even though I didn't want to, but I guess, yeah, that was my old pattern again of like this impulsiveness of like, I need to brood about this, I need to find an answer to this because I definitely don't want my day to be ruined. So then I kind of went into those thoughts more, but not in the sense that I wanted to elaborate on them, but more that I wanted to calm them down. And I was like, it's gonna be okay, I'm able to manage my emotions, even if the day isn't 100% great, doesn't mean that it's ruined or that it's horrible. I can still enjoy bits of it, and you know, I could just learn to cope with the imperfections. And like, I was trying to tell myself that it's like okay, and it doesn't need to be perfect, and I can still enjoy things even if there's a couple not so nice thoughts. But then I went on to thinking like, I'm not able to stop these thoughts, I'm not able to get out of my head, I'm not able to manage my thinking. So like, I immediately told myself, first of all, I'm incapable, I'm powerless. So then obviously I'd feel that way as well. And again, that's a belief that comes up quite often whenever I have strong thoughts and I go into them and stuff. I often believe I can't stop them, like I can't manage them, I can't help myself, there's nothing I can do about that, as if I'm like powerless in relation to my thoughts. And that belief is like extremely unhelpful to have, because in reality I know there is things I can do about my thoughts. I can focus on nice things, I can talk kindly to myself, I can play music, I can do something I love, I can talk to people, I do things to get out of your mind. And because when you've lost perspective or you're so deep in your mind already, then it's hard to think clearly, and so you need to do something to fully occupy your mind, get out of your mind, and so on. So yeah, then I just felt like I can't manage my thinking, like I can't stop them, and it's like gonna ruin my day or whatever. And then I told myself, like, which I was trying to help myself, being like, look, you've lost perspective already, you're very emotional now, and like, you know, you feel pressure to like stop this feeling of like, oh, what if the day will be ruined, because you really want to enjoy it. So I then told myself, look, I've lost perspective, and when you've lost perspective, there's nothing really that you can do in that moment to help yourself, because you just don't have perspective, like you can't see things clearly anymore. And so you just need to cope your way through until you have perspective again. And yeah, there's things you can try and do to regain perspective, like talking kindly to yourself, doing something you enjoy. But for that moment, you need to cope with it. It's nothing that can just simply get rid of your thoughts and emotions, because you have lost perspective and you need perspective in order to be able to manage them. I also told myself, like, thoughts aren't facts, thoughts are just thoughts, like they're just words. They don't have, it doesn't mean my day will be ruined, and it doesn't mean I'm not able to manage it. I think what I was mainly focused on was not even my day will be ruined, because I knew even if I have some negative thoughts, I'm still able to enjoy things. But I think what mainly annoyed me was that I told myself, and I felt like I couldn't stop my thinking, I couldn't manage my thinking. And the thing is, like, it doesn't even need to stop, if once I believe I can cope with it, problem solved. Once I believe I can cope with like, okay, yeah, these thoughts can be there, so what? Doesn't mean I failed, doesn't mean I'm not good enough, doesn't mean I'm incapable, then, problem is solved. And I was like, I can cope with these thoughts because I have already many times in my life, but I still believed like I'm incapable and I'm this and that and I'm not good enough. So then I started beating myself up and I was like, why can't you stop it? Like, come on, try these things. You have to do this and that. And I was then like, oh, great. Like, you should have learned how to deal with them already and things like that. And being quite hard on myself then and feeling that pressure of like, I need to solve this because I want to enjoy my day and like I should be in control of my emotions and my thoughts. Like, I don't know, I then felt like I kind of failed. Like I wasn't able to stop these thoughts. And then I was very like impatient whenever my sister said something to me, and like I felt like any sort of noise was like just too much, and any questions that I was asked was just overwhelming. And I don't know, I needed a couple minutes then to calm down again. And what did help me was to listen to music in the car with my sister and to kind of try just to sing along to that, to kind of get out of my head and just see like I can still enjoy things. But the whole way to the beach as well, like it wasn't horrible. I have to say, like I still didn't ruin my day. Like I still enjoyed things, but there was still constantly this one thought in my head that like, what if I can't stop my thoughts and emotions? Or what if I can't manage them, can't cope with them? Like the whole time. And then I felt like I was incapable of just ignoring them and just fully enjoying my day, or letting them be there and still enjoying my day. I don't know, I felt like I failed, and I'm not able to do that. And it's not a nice feeling. It's just not, feeling powerless and feeling like you failed, because it's not a nice feeling when you are a perfectionist, when you believe it's dangerous, when you're not in control of your thoughts. Like, this isn't a mystery. It isn't like, oh, this is something that happened to me. No, I created that because of my thought patterns. Like, everything I just said is why that moment was created, and why I didn't have the best day then, even though it was still a very nice day. Some part of me just didn't feel great the whole day. Some part of me just felt like a failure. Some part of me just felt so down about all of this, because it was like so not needed to ruin my day, but somehow I ruined it. Somehow not fully. Again, that's catastrophizing. So I was quite hard on myself again, and I don't know, I felt like, again, I couldn't really do anything about that. Like, I just had to endure this now. I just had to kind of feel negative the whole day, even though I did try some things, obviously, to help myself. But I think I already lost a certain amount of perspective that I couldn't. I just couldn't help myself in that moment fully, because I had lost the perspective. The next day I kind of learned then, when you've lost perspective, you just need to realize you've lost perspective, and that's okay. Like, what makes it so much worse, what made it worse for me, was like trying so hard to fix it, and then telling myself I'm not able to, but pressurizing myself to fix it, and being hard on myself. And none of that helps. None of that actually makes anything better. So when you've lost perspective, you just need to realize you'll regain it. And if you don't fully enjoy the day, that's okay too, because there's still going to be moments that you can enjoy, that I can enjoy. And I spoke to my mom as well, 1 or 2 days after, and about this, and she said as well, like something that I need to do more is process my positives, because whenever I'm actually getting very good at processing my positives and my achievements and being proud of myself and looking forward to things. But it's then when I have a day like that, it's hard for me to see the good things I've done, to see how capable I am. When I have a day like that, I just believe I failed, and that's a very catastrophic way of seeing it, which obviously isn't true. But on days like that, it's really hard for me. So Mom said it's hard for me because I focus mainly then on the negatives and what I'm failing at and what I'm not able to do, and instead of looking at what I can do, what I can do about the situation. Even if I feel like I can't do anything about my thoughts right now, then what can I do to enjoy it? What can I do to, just have a nice day, even if those thoughts are there? And I think that's not what I was looking at. I was looking at what can I do to change the thoughts, to get rid of them, instead of what can I do to, enjoy my day as well. But I was kind of looking at some of that too, but mainly focused on, I guess, the negatives and what I'm failing at. So Mom said it's very important for me on those days and all the time anyway to list and to really process my achievements and my positives and how capable I actually am, and how it's not about the end result, but it's about the effort. And Mom was like, I always put in effort. She was like, you're the one person where I could never say that you don't put in any effort. Like, you put in so much effort, and that is what counts. And even that day, then I did put in effort to try and make it nice, to try and manage my thinking. Like, I didn't give up. And the next day I tried to regain perspective, remind myself of the good things, and not think in like a catastrophic black and white way that like, oh, now the holiday is going to be ruined. Because I keep having that thought as well, like, oh, what if these 5 weeks that I'm here now are just going to be ruined, and I can't enjoy them, and I just won't regain perspective until I'm home. Like, that's something I'm kind of afraid of, that I'm not able to regain perspective easily. Because last time when I was in Spain, I was in a blip for quite a bit, and only kind of really regained perspective when I was home in Ireland. Because like I said, there's less comforting things that help me regain perspective. But at the same time, like, I need to realize this is a catastrophic thought, and it doesn't need to be that way. That I can regain perspective, and it doesn't mean the holiday is going to be ruined. And even if like I'm afraid of that, or I keep thinking, oh, it might be ruined or whatever, first of all, remind yourself that's catastrophic. It's not a fact. And then notice, what can I do to just enjoy today? What's something I can do? Like, even if the negative thoughts are there, let them be there and whatever, but what can I do to enjoy today? What can I do that's nice today? So yeah, I don't know. So since then, I've just been feeling more like, oh, I can't do anything about my negative thoughts, or like I'm not fully enjoying this experience or whatever, but I feel more sad and like powerless. But there's still moments every single day that I do very much enjoy. Like, I'm painting at the moment while watching Stranger Things. Watching movies with Alana in the evening is really nice. Meeting up with my friends is so nice. There's still things we're doing and I'm doing. Yeah, when you believe you can't do anything about it, or you're powerless, then it's very hard to find something that will actually help you, I think. Like, I don't know if that's like fully true, but it's definitely harder because you just don't believe anything's gonna work. The thing is, I know that every time you feel like you're not able to do anything about it, it's not true, because there's always something you can do to make your experience somewhat better. There's always something you can do to help yourself. And the main thing that I've noticed this morning then is my language towards myself. So the past few days, since that Wednesday, since I felt like I kind of failed or ruined my day, which I didn't, and I don't feel like I ruined my day, but I do feel like I kind of failed, or like I wasn't that good and would like to be better, or, I felt powerless. What I've noticed is that since then I've been really looking at myself in a very harsh, mean way. Like I've not been talking kindly to myself, and that's obviously why I stayed feeling shit. Like if you talk shit to yourself, you're gonna feel shit about yourself. And so that's the thing that kept me in the blip then, constantly reminding myself of what I've failed at or what I'm not able to do or whatever. And even though when I've been noticing these things, I've also been then actively trying to point out things I'm proud of or things I'm doing well, but it didn't feel very true. Like it didn't feel like I was actually proud of it, because I was being harsher on myself. And then whenever I had a moment where I got kind of annoyed or impatient, I would then tell myself, oh great, you're like that again, failing again. You're shouldn't be like that. So yeah, that's definitely what's been going on as well. And that's what made the blip linger, and go on for another while. And so this morning I really noticed like my language hasn't been good, it hasn't been nice. And so I'd really like to change that again and make it helpful and kind and stop beating myself up, because it just doesn't get me anywhere. And also I want to just cope with imperfections. Maybe there's some things I can do purposefully that are imperfect, and then just cope with it, just let it be, because I really want to stop this high sense of perfectionism that I have, because look where it's getting me all the time. That's what's tripping me up again and again. And with that comes the black and white thinking, and desire for control is very linked with that. So there's also things I can do to reduce my desire for control. Just when I notice there's something I'm trying to control, don't. Start with small things where I feel like, okay, I don't need to control this. I would prefer to control it, but I don't need to. So let's let it go. Like, for example, when the kitchen is messy and I feel like, oh, I want to clean it now. Let it go. Don't. And if you feel like you can't just leave it there for a full day or whatever, then tell yourself, look, you can start with 10 minutes, then go half an hour, then go an hour, then go 2, 3, 4 hours. Go like that. I want to challenge and I'm changing my language there, because I'm like telling myself I need to. But no, I want to challenge my desire for control, my perfectionism, because those are the things that trip me up. And those are the things that keep me in blips for longer. And obviously now I've regained a lot of perspective. Now I'm able to see things much more clearly and see, okay, these are the things I can do to help myself, or like telling myself, look, blips don't last forever. I've been in many before. But when you're in a blip, it's so hard to see these things. You just don't. Like when I'm in a blip, which this morning when I woke up, I was for a couple of seconds in a very dark blip, and I was like, what's the point? Like really, I was so dark in that moment. I was really like, everything is a failure, and I might, as well just, fall depressed and commit suicide. So like that was just one thought, and I immediately stopped that. I was immediately like, oh my god, okay, it's just a thought. Obviously I don't want to do that. I want to be able to manage things and cope with things and achieve things in my life, and I want to help people who have similar difficulties and challenges in their life as I have now, or as I did. And like, I know I'm getting so much better, and when I have perspective, I can see how much progress I've made and how much better I'm getting every day. But when you're in a blip, you just don't see any of it. And you just need to realize that it is like that when you're in a blip. You just don't see any of that, but it doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. But like even this, sometimes I don't know in a blip, because in a blip you're just so in a different world that you can't even tell yourself, I'm in a blip right now and I can't see any light, or I'm wearing shit tinted spectacles that everything I look at is just shit. Like sometimes you're so deep in a blip you can't even tell yourself that, but you just, yeah, then what you can do is, when you have perspective, write down things that you can read to yourself, that you can remind yourself of when you're in a blip. That's how you start managing blips. It's when you have perspective again, or at least to some extent, and then, you know, film a video like I'm doing now that I can look back on when I'm in a blip and can remind myself of these things. And when I'm out of a blip, I'm always like, oh my God, I could have done this, and this to help myself in the blip. But then once I fall into a blip again, I've forgotten all about those things. So you really should, or can, if you want to help yourself, write these things down. Like, you know, tell yourself when you're in a blip, go watch this movie. You love it. It always helps you, makes you laugh, or whatever. Tell yourself, read this paragraph. It's an eye-opener. You know, tell yourself what to do, because when you're in a blip, you're just so lost. What helps me is to watch something, to play games with my family, talk with my family or with my friends, read the Thrive program or watch the videos, read the paragraph I have written for myself for when I'm in blips, which maybe I can edit in here as well, to like read through that, because that really helps me regain a lot of perspective. To paint, I love painting. Go for a walk, go out and do something. Don't sit in your room and brood about this. But don't beat yourself up if you do sit in your room and brood about it. That makes it even worse. And then don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. Just, you know, when it gets that high in like stress and anxiety or, you know, worry, then what you need to do is really get out of your mind. Do something to get out of your mind, to occupy your mind. Yeah, until you've got perspective back. Without perspective, you can't do anything. Without perspective, you need perspective. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's that. And again, my thoughts are like, oh, you know, if I turn this video off and I return to my negative thoughts and stuff, then I failed and this video didn't help, and then my day's gonna be ruined again. Like, look how catastrophic that is. Oh my gosh. This video did help me for sure. It took me out of my mind for a few seconds, even though I was talking about my mind the whole time. But it actually helped me regain some perspective, and it was nice, and I wanted to make this video. And like, it's all what I told myself yesterday as well, because I always say to myself, either I should know this or I need to learn this. And then yesterday I was like, you know, looking at this whole experience of me being in a blip, and I was just like, you know, instead of telling myself I need to be able to do this, or I should have learned it already, or I should learn it, I was like, no, I can take this as a teaching of how to improve my life. Instead of looking at it like, oh, this is ruining my life, being like, this is teaching me how to improve my life, how to make my life even better, because it shows me this is not the way. This is not being in, like, telling yourself off, talking shit to yourself, brooding and all of that is not improving my life. But these blips are helping me and showing me how to improve my life, how to, you know, enjoy my life. And it's not like I need to learn this or I need to know this. It's that this is helping me to improve my life and to improve my skills and all of that. And, you know, I've also been noticing, like, yeah, first of all, when you're in blips, you don't feel like you have the skills to either cope with the situation or manage the situation or whatever. But in reality, you might have very good skills actually, and you might be capable, very capable. So Rob Kelly, the creator of the Thrive program, also says it's not even that important to have, you know, the main thing is not to have skills to cope with a situation or manage a situation. The important thing is the belief that you have the skills, the belief that you can manage the situation. Because even people that then don't really have great skills to manage the situation, if they believe they can cope, they believe they have the skills, then they won't feel powerless or out of control. You know, because you could have the skills and believe, I'm not able, I'm not capable, I'm not powerful, and then you wouldn't put your skills into action. You wouldn't even see that they're there because you're believing they're not there. So it's really about the belief. It's only about the belief. If you believe you can cope, then you can. It's as simple as that. Yeah, and I've actually been noticing that as well. Like when I have perspective, I see that I'm actually a very confident and capable person. But a lot of the time, I just don't see it. But if I actually look at my entire life and look at the things I did, the things I learned, the things, you know, how I'm behaving, what I'm doing, like I'm actually a very confident and capable person. And all of that is also just a belief. If you're not, or if you are, it's just a belief. And it's like, which one is helpful? So then choose to have that one, choose to build that belief, find the proof for it, live that way. So it's all possible. There's a solution to every problem. Things feel detrimental because of the way you're thinking, not because of actual situations, not because of any facts. It's just the way you're thinking, and all of that can be changed and be more helpful. So what I'm going to take away from this video is, first of all, be proud I made this video and that it actually helped me, and a lot of the things I said were actually very wise and very helpful. And I'm going to take away that there is things I can do to help myself, and that it's just about the belief. You believe you have the skills, and so then you feel like you do it, and you do, even if you don't. But if you believe you have the skills, then you do. And if you believe you're incapable and you don't have the skills, which I did believe, I believed I didn't have the skills to manage my thoughts, then that's what you're going to experience, even though you might actually have the skills, even though you might actually be very, very capable. But if you believe you're not, then you're not. So it's all just a belief. And I might actually have amazing skills, and even if I don't, if I just believe I have the skills, then I do. So yeah, that's what I'm going to take away. And I want to be more proud of myself, because that's going to help me feel better. And when I'm in blips, it's very hard for me to be proud of myself. I just feel like I don't deserve that, and I shouldn't be, because I'm currently in a blip. But no, okay, be proud of myself. I made this video and it can help many people, and it helped me, and can be relatable and so on. And it's all just a learning on how to improve your life. So how to live the best life. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Take care, and until the next time. Bye.